In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, we bear witness as the one God, to whom praise is due forever, the sender of Jesus and the gospel, Moses and the Torah, Muhammad and the Quran. Peace be upon the worthy saints of Almighty God. I want to say that the city did honor its word today. They allowed us to sit down and watch the video of the actual shooting and the death of young Edison. It was a very painful video to watch for the family and including myself. And so many thoughts ran through my mind watching the video and subsequently talking with the family afterwards. Let me say this. We asked the city and the police department to release the video to you all. It's my understanding they are going to release it to you. We asked them to release it to you. And in our hope is that I'm asking every black mother, every black father, sit down with your sons, your nephews, all the young men in your family, and let them watch the video with you. I'm asking the men of our community, take this video and sit down with the young brothers in the hood. Sit down with the young brothers and let them watch this. Because if anything comes out of the tragic death of Edison, is that we can use this video to save a life. We want young brothers to know you don't ever do anything to give them an excuse to exterminate your life. Don't give them an excuse to shoot you. And in this video, you will see that that excuse was given. We don't know what was going through our young brother's mind at the time. 18 years old, made a bad decision. But I'm hoping and I'm praying that when you see the video, mothers, fathers, please, please sit down and use this video as an educational teaching tool for the young men of our community. If you got a problem with the cops, deal with it in a courtroom. Deal with it in a courtroom, but don't hold court in the streets, because you're not going to win there. My heart breaks when I watch that video, because I kept saying to myself, what was going through my young brother's mind? So young, 18 years old. Such dangerous decisions. Now, I do want to say this. HPD in Pasadena was involved in this pursuit. And I believe the Pasadena Police Department used overkill. I believe the Pasadena Police Department shot way too many times when the young man was down and already dead. I believe the Pasadena Police Department got away with using excessive deadly use of force. Was it justifiable? Yes, in my opinion. But it was extremely excessively done by Pasadena Police Department. And I believe that they should be held accountable for overkill in this case. But from what I witnessed, HPD, they did fire, but not like the Pasadena Police Department did. It's like once they got the excuse that they knew they had justifiable excuse to use deadly force, it's like they had a good time firing multiple shots while the young man was lying on the ground. That's overkill. But the most important thing for me, and I'm asking all of you parents, all parents, sit down with your sons. Sit down with the young men of your family, the young men of your community, the young men in your neighborhood. I would like to see parents get together and bring all the young boys in, sit them down with a group of parents and watch this video. Because if you watch this video, you can teach the next young man. You can teach the next young woman. You can teach the next teenager how not to make some bad decisions and bad split-second choices that can cost you your life. If we don't use this video to help save lives, then we have failed. And what we should do as those who love and believe in God to help save our young people. Any questions?
You indicated that there was no excuse with regards. It was justifiable. I know, and Ms. Linder, I know it was a very difficult video to watch, and I appreciate you guys coming out. I think we all do. But when you saw that video, no questions for you. Everything was done appropriately. What was going through your mind when you saw that video? I know it was difficult, but what was going through your mind, ma'am?
At the end of the day, something still has to change.
That's right.
Even though there was a cause, the effect could have been different. You have to bring new discoveries to see that what you can do in a dark situation. What can you be trained to do? What kind of invention can be made to help from this outcome? Today might have been a day that what I just seen, it's time for a new discovery. It's time for a new training class. It's time for some new effects to happen so that this can be saved for the next person.
Any more questions?
Who was all in the meeting from HPD? Did you have Chief
Avocado, Chief Finner, members of homicide, and also the legal department for the city?
Have you guys met with Pasadena PD?
No, we have not, but we absolutely need to, because what they did to me was just too many shots. It was too many shots. But what none of us knew, that we didn't know that Davion had fired a shot at law enforcement. We didn't know that until today. I didn't even know my little brother had a gun. I didn't even know the young man had a gun. And I didn't know when he got out and he's running from him, he turns around and shoots at him. I didn't know that. But now we know. And it hurts because he's 18 years old. Such a young man. And you and I both know teenagers at 18 can make some silly, dumb decisions. But that's why I'm hoping that parents, if we could have a mass viewing of this tape with parents with their children, man, I would be so pleased. Because I don't want this death to be in vain. And it does not have to be if we use it as a teaching tool for our young people. I would like every family, I don't care what your race is, I don't care where you live. Brothers, listen to me, man. Let's all come together with this videotape if we can. And sit down with the young men of our community and watch it. And then after you watch it, talk to them. Take questions from them. Answer their questions. But use this as a tool to save their life. If Davion can save lives with the bad choices he made, we'll feel a lot better here if we can use his life to save some. Because if they take the video and watch it with our young people and talk them through it, we can save some lives.
Do you recall how many shots you heard in that video?
I think I might have heard, after he was shot, he was on the ground, 12, 13 shots. But he was still on the ground when they were shooting him. Their position still going to be, he had a gun in his hand on the ground. I know they're going to say that. Because he did turn around in a split second like this at the end. I understand. And there's so many cops involved here. There was 2 different agencies, Pasadena and HPD. And there were a number of cops out there at the scene. And so how many of them fired, we don't know, but you can see Pasadena. Clearly, they were the lead agency, and they were the lead first car behind him, chasing him. They were the first ones to pursue him.
How many angles were you provided with? Was it just how many cameras?
We saw 2, 3 angles from the sky, mainly 2 from the sky, and 1 from direct body cam in front.
Got it. Miss Linder, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Miss Linder, I was going to ask you, I heard Quanell say this. I'd like to hear you. Did you specifically ask that this video get released by HPD? And who did you make that ask to?
That was Chief Finner.
It was Chief Finner.
And you told them to please release this video.
Yes,
and what was their reaction?
Like any other normal person, when you have a purpose. The purpose is to save other children. The purpose is to save the next 18-year-old that thinks in 1 second. Sometimes we forget what we have to teach. So now there's a new lesson to be taught. So I thank them for everything they've done. I'm not asking for any grief. I'm not asking for anything. I'm asking to know that someone else can be saved.
That's right.
Did they, and I'm sorry, ma'am, did they give any indication if they were going to release the video or not?
It seemed like they indicated they would. To me. It seemed like they did because they asked us could they do it. We said yes. And so they asked for our permission first before they did.
Can I ask one more question, if you don't mind? Can you, we all know what happened, but can you describe your nephew, who he was to you, to your family? Sorry.
He went to church every Sunday. He sang. He played basketball. He went fishing. He loved children. He was raised right. So at the end of the day, it has to be taught because even your right child can make a mistake.
That's right. There are no perfect children. We thank you for your time. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
So you said that they used excessive force. So does that mean after he was on the ground?
Yes.
They
Yes.
continued firing?
Yes. Yes. You can see as Pasadena's chasing him as a lead agency. When he was shot, he falls to the ground. And after falling to the ground, I still heard about 6 or 7 extra shots as he's laying on the ground.
Did you bring that concern up?
Yes.
And,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
what was the reaction
Yes.
when you brought that concern up?
That they're still investigating ballistic reports on every weapon to see exactly how many times their department officers fired. Because they want to be crystal clear. But from the initial scene, it looks like Pasadena was the ones doing the most shooting. And but they are doing reports to make sure that they count every bullet that was fired by an HPD officer.
Did you express the concern that Pasadena overshot?
Oh, absolutely.
And so what was the reaction
No
to
doubt.
that concern?
Well, the problem is Chief Alvacedo doesn't speak for Pasadena PD. They got their own police chief. They got their own police department. So we're going to actually meet with them too. We want to meet with them too because they were shooting like cowboys while he's laying on the ground. To me, that's too much. But one thing I do want to thank HPD for, they honored their word. They were true with their word today. They came forth and showed us what we wanted to see, and they were honest. But Pasadena, y'all need to clean that up because that was overkill while he was on the ground. But the problem was, once you get out the car and you shoot at him, you done gave some of these trigger-happy cops a license to shoot and kill at will. That's all they need.
Can I get
But ultimately, let me be clear. Ultimately, my goal is to save some other young men. Because they are good kids that can make one split-second bad decision and they gone. So if we don't use it to save other kids' lives, we're making a big mistake here.
Seeing the video for you, did it give you some sort of peace or understanding or clarity or anything after seeing it? I know it's been a big discussion about whether they're going to release video and stuff like that. Just from a family perspective, how was that for you?
Yes, it gave me understanding. The questions that I had were answered today. So that's all I want to say.
We're done now. Thank you. Let them grieve in
Can I
peace.
get your first and last name? Sorry, there on the right side.
Levy Williams Linzer,
Can you spell that for me?
L-O-V-I-E, Williams Linzer, L-I-N-Z-E-R.
And you're his aunt.
I'm his aunt.
And you?
Quanell X, Quanellx, Quanell X.
And you are
Leader of the New Black Panther Nation.
So like, okay, we different.